Hello, 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 everybody. Oh my God. I'd love to welcome you to today's session of Inside the Business Mind. This has been such a phenomenal ride for me. For years, I have been, and you guys know, guys who know me, you know this. I have been finding just jewels out there in the business community, just the most intelligent, most warm, most wonderful people. And today's guest is no different. Leslie Bradford is just an amazing talent, and what a wonderful soul. You guys are going to love meeting her, and I can't wait to get inside the business mind with her. Let me tell you a little bit something about Inside the Business Mind. This program was designed by my good friend Darren Marcourt and I because we understood as we were going about networking with the world and helping and meeting other business professionals and helping making connections for other business professionals, we began to understand that sometimes it's very difficult for people to talk about the things that are most important to them, the things that are most important that actually reveal their character. Now, Stephen Covey says this in his many books. He writes about trust and how important trust is to developing professional relationships. And he shares with us a little formula for trust. He says, well, trust is built with two key ideas. One is competence and one is character. When you have character and competence and they come together well, what happens is trust. Now, it's more complicated than that. There's a lot of specifics that go into this. But when you think about it, how often do you really get to know someone's character unless you work with them and see them in action? So we designed the Inside the Business Mind process as a strengthening opportunity for help to help people reveal their character in ways that will help people that need to learn how to trust them know everything they need to know to trust them. So when you think about it, what do you have to do to trust someone? And it just happens that, crazy person that I am, I create systems all the time. So I created this system called the True Voice System. True Voice is an acronym, right? It stands for vision, it stands for opportunities, it stands for interest, it stands for commitments, and it stands for the greater economic systems and things that you have to think about when it comes to developing whatever business or whatever construct or whatever creative idea you have coming forward. And if you know how to put those things together, then all of a sudden you really, really have a good understanding of what you need to do, how you need to focus, where you need to go. And I created a whole bunch of assessments around True Voice, and the interview, the Inside the Business Mind interview, is another offshoot of the True Voice process. So we're going to talk to Leslie Bradford, who's a Salesforce genius. I mean, she's an expert in that thing. She really knows how to break it down and put it back together. And this is super, super important for those of us who need to be more organized, who need to be more focused on all things when it comes to developing our businesses. And so you're going to want to pay attention to what she has to say, what she has to share, and more importantly, who she is. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, inside the business mind of Leslie Bradford. Let's bring her on the stage. Leslie, how are you today?
I am well, and thank you for the very kind introduction. I really, really appreciate that, Marvin. Thank you.
Fantastic. I got to tell you, you're one of the few people, and I've met thousands of professionals on LinkedIn, right? And you're one of the few people that I can say has just stood head and shoulders above the rest in just terms of your warmth and your personality and your style and how you do things. It's just a refreshing opportunity to work with somebody that has such clear and obvious talent. And we're gonna get inside the brain now. We're gonna go, what's going on in that mind of Leslie's and on all this kind of good stuff. So as you know, we've introduced the questions to you earlier. The roundtable is all about, finding ways to communicate, finding ways to collaborate, and finding ways to encourage one another. And that's what we do. We feel like we do it exceptionally well. You've experienced the meeting, so you kind of you got an inkling as to kind of what we're all about. But those key ideas and those key elements, literally drive everything we do. So when you think about collaboration, you think about encouragement, you think about communication, they're all important. But if you had to think about yourself and your business right now, what is the most important element that I just mentioned and of collaboration, encouragement, and communication, and why do you feel like that's a key important thing for you to bring out and into the universe? Go for it.
Absolutely. Hands down, it's encouragement. And from my own perspective, I do believe that encouragement includes communication and collaboration because it's deeply rooted in a foundation of caring. Quality matters, caring matters, the end work product is what matters. I like to imagine that I am the client. I like to imagine what I would like to see. White glove comes to mind in terms of the work product that's being delivered, exceeding expectations. So how do I tie that into encouragement? When I am talking with my potential clients or existing clients, I am always trying to encourage them around the idea and the ability to improve their business processes. These improved business processes can save them a tremendous amount of time, allowing their employees to be able to focus on the work that they really, really enjoy doing. There's a lot of automation that can be done. Many companies have gone into the CRM world with Salesforce, and they just utilize the basics. I come in, I have a partner as well that supports me in the deeper architectural part of helping to customize and streamline business processes.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Just truly wonderful. As you could tell, you have a real passion for this, and it's always interesting to find out, what when I'm talking to people, it's like finding out what their passions are and how those passions, kind of come together, and what they do is such an important part of building trust. So when you think about it, what do you love most about this? What do you love most about what you get to do on a regular, consistent basis?
That's a really, really powerful question, and I appreciate that question. Thank you, Coach Marvin. The idea of watching light bulbs come on when I'm talking to clients, and when you're actually able to do the configurations and then demonstrate them, and it ushers in an ease of the usage of the system, and it generates more adaptability, adoptability. What I mean by the interchange of those two words is sometimes individuals can be resistant to change, and sometimes people don't like to use systems like Salesforce, and I'm thinking of salespeople, because it is time consuming and they would really rather be out in front of their clients spending time. There's a tremendous amount of data that is captured in Salesforce, and if you don't understand how to optimize reports and dashboards for the analysis side of it, it can seem like a clunky, cumbersome amount of work to try and figure out how to extract that information. So my company and I come in and we help work with, by understanding what the clients really, what information do they really need access to, and in regard to their quick analysis and that type of thing. And then we reverse engineer. We work backwards from what their end product is supposed to look like, and we come in and create what to them seemingly is the impossible. So it's really exciting to see them benefit from learning that it can be a very easy system to use once it's configured properly, and then more people want to use it.
You remind me of, so many times when I've worked with people, when you can break down the simplest aspects of any process and help them see sort of the beauty in all of those little tiny details that they would normally take for granted and not really see and not really understand. And then when they begin to see it, you can analyze, even those subtle details. When you put it all back together, it's magical. I get to teach racquetball every once in a while, and just helping people understand the mechanics of the swing.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just like lovely poetry. Because I spent so much time, understanding it and dealing with it myself. But when it's like you said, when those light bulbs come on, people start to realize that, oh, so I'm holding the racket this way in order to create this effect. And so when I do that, almost 100% of the time, I am absolutely in control of what's going to happen just by how I respond to this system, right? And so data analysis and understanding how to put that data back together in every unique value proposition within the company is an amazing thing to be able to do, to be able to help people break that down and see how they can use Salesforce to create that flow, they need to have in their business. And that's just an amazing thing. I'm like, man, you got me excited about Salesforce, and I usually try to ignore it because, like most business development people, salespeople, I too am like, this is overwhelming. I don't know anything about this. Now I got a champion, so I know who I can call and say, okay, how can I tweak this thing? How can I really make this thing work for me? So, I really appreciate the answer to that question because, it's true. Every system has that magic in it when people can have the ability to communicate effectively, break it down, and help people put it back together. So when you think about all the things that you've obviously done a lot in your life, and you've experienced a lot of different ins and outs in your career. Anybody who's ever seen your LinkedIn profile is going to be like blown away, like she did what? I mean, and it's amazing set of skills that you've been able to develop over the years. But when you think about this choice at this time, why did you choose this profession in this way, and how do you see it moving forward for you?
I love making order out of chaos. I enjoy puzzles, making order out of chaos. I enjoy work processes, making order out of chaos. Very logic based. I love the details. One of my passions on the side is cross stitching. And a lot of people do cross stitching. I like to create my own designs. I like to do a lot of embellishment. It's those details. I'll spend a tremendous amount of time just in those little minutia details. Same with the backside of Salesforce. And there are so many incredible details, if you know that they're there, that will help optimize processes, that will help connect a lot of dots that did not seemingly have a way to be connected before. It's just a really, really powerful system. The foundation that drew me into the Salesforce arena was their fundamental belief in Ohana, family, community. There is a powerful network of individuals within the Salesforce community that all absolutely get thrilled by being able to help each other. You can reach out. They have created all types of community portals. I have met some of the most amazing people in my entire career through Salesforce, and I have never run into one person yet that was not willing to help with answering a question or to have a meeting, to provide guidance, instruction, experiences, inspiration, warnings. It's been just a phenomenal experience.
That's great. That's great. It's always wonderful to have a team. It's always wonderful to have the people around you that will provide that level of support. And I love that. That's one of the reasons why we created the Roundtable, is because we know that entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship and business leadership is a lonely sport often for people. And it's our belief that it doesn't have to be. So we get together weekly and we just discuss the things that are important to discuss, not just the stuff that just the typical blah blah blah. I'm networking, blah, I want to try to sell you something. I want to try to invade your life with some idea or concept that I think is more important than anything else. But it's really an opportunity to listen to others, and that's kind of how we look at it at the Roundtable, and to be heard. And you're just one of the best at it. I think that when people get a chance to be heard, they can feel meaningful and specific. They can really feel relevant in any space that they're in. And you're just a champion of that. I mean, you're just like you're like the great listener. I'm going to give you a new title. You're not Leslie Bradford, the Salesforce. You're the listener. You're the listener. I like that. Anyway, when you think about all the things that you're doing and the culmination of it all, I'm a big vision guy. And when you look forward the next 5 years, where do you see all of this going for Leslie? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What do you think you might be able to be, do, or have in the next 5 years that you're planting the seeds for now, that you're going to be that's going to be able to happen for you?
I really believe that encouraging leadership as an entrepreneurial business owner, I think there is a tremendous uh, opportunity for individuals that are looking to step outside of a traditional W-2 role where you're following instructions and doing what you're told and producing what's expected and being evaluated based on someone else's expectations versus really tapping into yourself and what yourself identifies as your gifts and what you really enjoy doing and who you really enjoy doing that work with. I think that that same amount of energy and then actually even more energy is generated when you're excited about what you are building and how that positive impact can draw other people in. So I am very, very excited about the growth potential within this industry. I'm very excited about being able to broaden the horizons for a lot of other companies and bringing them hope, better utilization of their financial resources, better utilization of, just the way that they're able to communicate with their clients as well. I think that's a very exciting thing to be able to offer.
That's so wild. I totally agree with you. Let's let the sound catch up here. When you talk about some of the things that we were talking about earlier, it brings to mind to me, there's a new federal FTC just put out a new ruling about those contracts, those workplace contracts that people get themselves into that they can't get out of if they want to transfer from one job to the next job because of non-competes or clauses or any type of things like that. And the FTC just put out a ruling a couple of days ago that will allow people to just leave a position in corporate America and go take up another position, even with a competitor, without having to worry about their old job coming back to sue them or, having to be handcuffed for 5 years before they can get back in the industry, that kind of stuff. And I believe that's going to free up a lot of opportunity
Absolutely.
for new entrepreneurs to come online and new people to say, I've got a better way that I've been kind of thinking about incubating for the last 30 years to do this process or this thing, but I couldn't do it because, I couldn't, I don't want to compete against my existing company, blah, blah, blah. That's all like freed up now, which I think is going to be an amazing influx of, new people coming into all these different industries and taking advantage of all this locked up innovation, and I know that you're going to be a part of that meteoric rise because they're going to need to know, how to develop these processes to make sure their clients are taken care of. They're managing their systems well. They know what's going on with their business, and they can hit a button and go, "Oh, here's where we are. Here's
That's
what we
right.
need to do to catch up. Here's everything. Pretty much it becomes it's like it's manna from heaven to be able to go, okay, can you imagine these new entrepreneurs getting started going like, well, where am I? And where do I need to go? And how do I need to fix it? And they can always have a person like you in their back pocket that go, okay, all right, this is how I need to do it. And Leslie becomes the wind beneath my wings to make it all to make it all come together, which is amazing. I'm looking forward to all the great things that you're going to do, and I'm so glad that you and I are are really close, and I think I'll be able to see that opportunity that you bring to the table really come out for so many people, and so many people be blessed by you. Leslie, listen, if there's a way for somebody to get in contact with you, what do you prefer? Do you prefer them connect with you on LinkedIn, or what is it that your preference in terms of people to find Leslie?
Yeah, absolutely. LinkedIn is the go-to for connecting me with everyone, and that is, and I'm very quick to respond, as you know. One thing that you just said, and I do want to comment on it, and another aspect that I think is beautiful about the Salesforce system is the scalability and velocity that it brings to companies, especially startups. You can start small and then you can migrate very easily into larger and larger business models. And they offer a 360 view, transparency, centralizing all of your information so that all the key team players are, able to see the same set of information. So many businesses, the information is siloed. One department has an Excel spreadsheet, another department has a separate Excel spreadsheet. Right hand, left hand are supposed to be on the same body, but in the meetings, you're convinced they're in separate bodies. So I love the unification of the processes and the transparency that it promotes so that everyone has the same consistent version of the truth that they're working with. And that's incredibly powerful for a company to make very empowering decisions with. Just felt like I needed to mention that.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Well, this has been just a wonderful time, and I just love spending time with Leslie. Is there any last parting words that you want to share with the audience about anything? I noticed, by the way, I'm gonna cheat a little bit here because I'm going off script, but I know you can handle this. I spent some time on your LinkedIn profile this morning, and I was looking at it, and I was like, wow, she has got a lot of recommendations. And I want to remind everyone that those things they don't come by easily. People don't say wonderful, glowing things about you, because they just want to gas you up. It's really you have had an impact on people that have had the benefit of being able to work with you over these many years. And they have, reflected that impact, back to you in those endorsements, testimonials, recommendations, all those things that we call third-party influence, bring credibility to who you are and what you're all about. So I encourage anybody who's watching this interview, if you saw, go ahead and check out Leslie's profile. Don't stop at the top. Go all the way down and check the recommendations out. Get into the details, because that's how you really figure out, the value of someone and the character that they bring that other people have reflected and seen. And you have done such an amazing job, curating such a collective group of wonderful people that have poured into you. And I know you do the same for them. So I'm just looking forward to seeing where you're going to go. And I'm so proud of what you've done so far, and happy that I consider you friend. I hope you consider me friend too. And it's going to be an amazing thing these next few years. Okay, I'm going to put you backstage, Leslie. If there's not anything else you want to share real quickly, and then don't go anywhere, because I'm going to close the show out and we're going to come right back. Okay.
Okay.
You and I can keep chatting. So that's the show, guys. That's Coffee to You and Me. It's not Coffee to You and Me, Inside the Business Mind. I'm losing my mind. So the whole purpose of that is to really get to know more about an individual than you would know if you ask them, hey, what do you do? And they spew out a whole bunch of, stuff that's not necessarily relevant. Because I know what you're really asking them is, what's in it for me? How do you benefit the world? How do you help people, bring to the table? And I promise you, working with a person like Leslie, it's about creating the kinds of organizational systems that you need to create to maximize your business potential. And if you want to work with somebody who's dedicated to helping you doing that, and already has all the tools, all the systems, everything she needs to bring the right stuff to your table, this is the kind of consultant, this is the kind of advisor, this is the kind of help, administrative control you need to have in your business. And I encourage you to follow up with her and let me know how it goes. All right. God bless you guys. I hope you had a wonderful day. This is Inside the Business Mind, and we're signing out. Okay. And that is that.